Good morning students, welcome to the online class for standard 10. So today we'll continue the chapter His First Flight and we'll discuss the question answers which are given in the book. Why was the young seagull afraid to fly? Do you think all young birds are afraid to make their first flight, or are some birds more timid than others? Do you think a human baby also finds it a challenge to take its first step? And let's see the answer. First number, the young seagull was afraid to fly because he thought his wings would not support him. The depth of the sea frightened him, as it was his first flight. He feared that he would fall down instead of flying. So this was the fear in him, that he would fall down, and the depth of the sea from that mountain cliff was too high, and so he thought that he will not fly, rather he will fall down and injure or may die. And this is the fear which was there in him, and he also felt that his wings, it won't carry the load of his body, it wouldn't support him to fly. And then the second part, that do you think all young birds are afraid or not? So doing something for the first time makes everyone nervous and is a bit challenging. So for it could be same with the birds also. So the young birds may be afraid to make their first flight. And the third part, do you think a human baby also finds it a challenge? Yes, of course, it's natural for human beings also to fear to take the first step. If first step, so by mistake it's written there, you just escape it. They find it a challenge to take the first step, as it is something new and they are doubtful about it. So as the children, small kids, they are taking the first step they have never done, so it's a new experience for them, and they have never experienced it, and they feel doubtful whether they will walk or they will fall down. So there is a doubt in their mind which makes them fear the first steps. And let's see second number, the sight of the food maddened him. What does this suggest? What compelled the young seagull to finally fly? Let's see the question number 2's answer. The sight of the food maddened him. What does it refer here? Here, the young seagull, he was hungry for the past 24 hours. He has not eaten anything. He was desperate and wanted the family to come back and give him food. So, on the ledge, he was all alone. He was looking at the opposite cliff where his parents and brothers and sister was enjoying having food. So he looked at them and he begged them to come back. He requested them. He made different sounds. He just asked them to come back, and he also pretended to fall asleep, and he was standing on one leg and he pretended, and he wanted to draw the attention of the family members. And the hunger that made him imagine to tear the fish and relish it. When the mother tore at a fish that lay at her feet, he was maddened. When he was always thinking about food, because it was very hot and there was no food he has eaten, and he was feeling very desperate, and he wanted them to come back and help him. And when he saw the mother, she was tearing the fish at her feet, and he also imagined that how he loved to do this work, how he loved to sharpen his beak, and how he loved to eat and tear the fish and eat it, and that maddened him, that made him mad. And the second part was, what compelled the young seagull to finally fly? This food. The food in the beak of the mother compelled him to dive, as she stopped and didn't come to the ledge to give the food. Rather, she stopped at a distance, and the seagull couldn't stop himself and took the plunge to catch the fish. So this is all happened. So the seagull, he was maddened by the food and he couldn't wait any longer. He was so desperate that he jumped. He jumped to catch the fish, but what happened? He tried to fly. Then the next question. They were beckoning to him, calling shrilly. Why did the seagull's father and mother threaten him and cajole him to fly? The young seagull's fear to fly and take that first step stopped him to leave the ledge, even if the brothers and sisters have left the ledge earlier. And the parents of the seagull, they tried their best to motivate him, but it didn't work. So they told him to fly. They even gave the example of the brothers and sisters whose wings were shorter than him, but still they were able to take their first flight. And here in this young seagull, he was so afraid to die. He was so afraid to take that step. He was very much nervous that he didn't move. And finally, they had to call him shrilly. They had to talk to him rudely. And they scolded him. They upbraided him and threatened him to starve unless he made his first flight. So this is all the answer of these the questions. Then fourth number, have you ever had a similar experience where your parents encouraged you to do something that you were too scared to try? Discuss this in pairs or groups. So this one is for yourself. You will try it and you can write down, yes, we have similar experience. You can write down about giving some debate competition or giving or appearing on the stage for the first time. You can also give the example of cycle or riding a cycle for the first time. You're afraid to fall down, but your parents encouraged you. Anything about your experience you can write. In case of birds flying, it seems a natural act. As we know, flying is a natural tendency of the birds, and foregone conclusion that it should succeed. In the examples they have given in answer to the previous question, that is 4 number, was your success guaranteed or was it important for you to try regardless of a possibility of failure? So we can write down, yes, it was important to try regardless of the possibility of failure. You should try, you should give a try. Whether you succeed or not, that comes second. But trying is the first step. So this is all for today, and we will give some extra questions we will discuss. Till then, goodbye.